Agenda item number 1 is a resolution authorizing the City and County of San Francisco, acting by and through the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, to submit an application to and participate in the Pro-Housing Designation Program administered by the California Department of Housing and Community Development.
Supervisor Preston.
Thank you, Chair Melgar, and appreciate the care that went into creating the resolution. I do want to comment a bit on this. Some of this is just the nature of this resolution. Sort of no one here's fault on this front, but some things I do just want to put on the record while we're talking about this, because I think it's important. And I've spoken to this before when it came through committee the first time we had this so-called pro-housing designation. Just want to note and not normalize what I view as the absurdity of the state calling this and having baked into now the state codes the idea of pro-housing versus non-pro-housing. Nobody can actually explain what pro-housing is. It appears to be a term that one set of lobbyists uses for certain policies, and then we're supposed to accept that anyone who doesn't see things their way is somehow anti-housing. So I think it's an unfortunate term. It is apparently really the state's, I think, euphemism for state housing policies that, at least as applied in San Francisco, operate primarily to increase land values and incentivize the building of luxury housing that working class people cannot afford in our city. And then I think that to make the irony even greater, the state has developed a program where failure to immediately pass laws or to increase property values and incentivize luxury housing locally results in the state blocking funding for affordable housing. So couldn't make this up if I were trying. The state actually conditions affordable housing money for the poor and working class folks of our city, not on the city ramping up our investments in affordable housing for poor and working class people, but instead on whether we are sufficiently incentivizing housing that in our market is unaffordable by design. So it is no wonder that in the last RENA cycle we overproduced market rate housing and underproduced affordable housing. So I understand this resolution statutorily required for us to have a competitive edge for state affordable housing money. So I understand why it's before us. And I look forward to passing it today and hopefully at the full board as well, despite this really absurdity of how the state law requirements are structured. I think we all want to be competitive for these funds. I do note, and I have resisted the urge to start proposing amendments to this resolution because I don't want to complicate this, but I do feel the need to note this on the record, a dynamic that I think is missing from this resolution. It's probably not needed in the resolution, but I think it's important, and that is the many efforts to increase our affordable housing stock that have been approved by this Board of Supervisors and have been obstructed, defunded, or delayed by the mayor. And these are ongoing disputes. There are policy differences. There are budget differences. And I think they should be noted on the record, even if not formally included in the resolution. So consistent with San Francisco's duty to affirmatively further fair housing, this Board of Supervisors has authorized and urged additional affordable housing investments and developments above and beyond those undertaken by the mayor's office, including, but not limited to, urging the use of Proposition I revenue from 2020 and each year for affordable housing, which the mayor has refused to budget each year. Appropriating funds, the board has appropriated funds into San Francisco's Housing Stability Fund for preservation acquisitions, which last year the mayor defunded by $20 million, and leaving what is currently basically a zeroed out budget, precluding many worthy projects from being acquired for housing, permanent affordable housing preservation. The board has urged development of affordable housing on city-owned land at Parcel K in Hayes Valley, which the mayor has now delayed indefinitely. And in addition, for what can only be described as purely political reasons, the mayor intervened to block affordable housing development at 400 Divisadero, which could provide over 160 affordable homes for working class San Franciscans and formerly homeless San Franciscans. So I raise all this, and that's just a partial list, to urge the administration to do better on affordable housing. I welcome the new leadership at MoCD and look forward to continuing to work with Director Adams and his team, but I will continue to use every opportunity to urge the mayor to stop blocking this board and the voters of San Francisco when it comes to the development of affordable housing in our city. And I also want to warn that if the mayor continues on this path of blocking these critical affordable housing investments, that I fear that the mayor's ongoing obstruction and defunding of affordable housing could well compromise our so-called pro-housing designation and make it even harder for our city to secure scarce state affordable housing funds. So thank you, Madam Chair, for the time. Just wanted to put that on the record, fully prepared to support the resolution and interested in the public comment. Thank you.